Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give it all praise. It's the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. The Most High is busy at work, bringing things, events, understanding full circle. Last couple days, been thinking about, the Most High put this in my mind to talk about the 100 monkey experiment. And I think that it's really important to what we're seeing going on today. I want to say a brother also emailed me and was sharing some information with me, and I want to show you how it confirmed what the Most High has been showing me the last couple days, and it's just confirming what we're seeing and what's going on right now. You know, you're well aware of this big event happening yesterday with this attack on the bridge that connects Crimea to Russia. Pretty much the only bridge there, whatever they said, that will connect Crimea to Russia. You're seeing the Gentiles ratcheting up their attacks, ratcheting up their fear tactics. And see, I had a lot of information from the video I did last night. Went along with, I was going to put all this information together, but the Most High had me break it into 2 videos. So it actually worked out better because the Most High wanted it to, because of this event that happened yesterday on the bridge. Talking about, as you can see, how the Gentiles are trying to keep a hold of their people through fear. And how the Most High is elevating us through the Spirit. He's giving us knowledge and understanding, and it's taking off worldwide. It doesn't have to be a lot of us, it just has to be the right ones. But as we gain knowledge and understanding, we share this information with people we don't even have contact with. We elevate consciousness worldwide. And that goes back to the whole 100 monkey experiment. Now, I guess it goes like, if you look it up, if you look at it, I've done videos on it before a few years ago. I said, but pretty much it was like there were some monkeys on an island, and they were getting like potatoes, and they were falling on the ground and getting sand on them, and like a few of them, one of them started to wash the potato, then a few more of them started to wash the potato, but once like it got to like 100 monkeys on that island washing the potatoes, they would go to other islands, and the other monkeys were doing the same thing, and these other monkeys had no contact with the original ones. So somehow this thought of washing potatoes had passed to other monkeys on other islands, and they had no physical contact. Now, of course, the Gentiles said, "Oh, well, we've debunked that theory. We've debunked that theory. We don't, and that's okay, because that's what they always say. They've also debunked the Hebrew Israelites, right? They've also debunked the fact that we're the true people of the book. They've also debunked the fact that we're our chosen our lands are actually over there in the so-called Middle East. They've proven that fact, right? Yeah, right. Okay. So it doesn't matter what they say; they're irrelevant at this point. Okay, and we know that when you read in the Nag Hammadi, it talks about how this happens, how the Most High breathes through his people. He breathes through the all. The Holy Spirit breathes through us all. All the ones that are hers, all the ones that are the Most High's. We're all on the same wavelength. So just because a Gentile wants to say, "Oh, that's not true," what was crazy was as I was reading about it, it talked about how they were figuring these things out, but that the Gentiles could not figure out why it was happening, how it was happening, because they don't have that spiritual connection. So therefore, things of the spirit they're not going to understand. Correct? Well, now think about what's going on right now. As the Most High starts to give us information again about the subterranean world that was common knowledge before, and a few of us are being exposed to this information, and more of us are getting this information. It is now this information is being transferred to others of our people, of our brothers and sisters, that are in this truth, and they're getting this information downloaded to them. So it just takes a few of us to get this understanding, and then it starts to take off worldwide. People will then be moved to, start to look into this information. They won't know why. They won't have any contact with us. They won't hear our videos or anything like that. But the Spirit will move them to start to get this knowledge, understanding, because of the few that started with it, started to get it, and all of a sudden, it starts to go to all of our brothers and sisters because the Most High has it breathing through the all. It's breathing through the Spirit, and it's just like when we came into this truth, and it's like, there's something wrong, and we all just started to, we started to study, we started to research. We don't know why we were doing that. It's just it was in our spirit to do so. Something, it was a thought came to us, and we started to, we started to study, we started to research. So probably other people were already in this truth, studying, getting this information, and then we didn't have any contact, but the Spirit came to us and woke us up and had us doing the same things, had us starting to research. Now we're doing the same thing for others. We're getting more knowledge and understanding. And now we're awakening other brothers and sisters, and Gentiles alike. They're getting a thought. Hey, I'm gonna start looking at these, at this subterranean world. This seems pretty interesting. Oh, I'm gonna see if this is true. I'm gonna, and they don't know why. Now, as we're doing that, the other nations, they're also doing their whole 100 monkey experiment, but they're doing it the opposite way. They're doing it through fear. So you start getting, they start putting it on TV about, this is happening with Russia. Russia's going to drop these nukes. Russia's going to do this. America's going to do that. This is what's going on. Get your bug out bag. Vladimir Putin is in his bunker. Okay. Oh, today they ordered all these iodine pills. Didn't they order a bunch of iodine pills a few months ago? Didn't they order like hundreds of thousands of them a few months ago? Well, if there hasn't been like a nuclear fallout, didn't they already have a whole bunch of pills? But they just ordered some more like a day or two ago. I mean, many of the things that they keep saying that they're ordering, they've already ordered before. They've already used that, they've already used that whole ploy before. Have we not? If you go back and research, I'm sure you'll find some other examples of them ordering, iodine pills, or ordering, certain food that they needed to, to stock up in their deep military underground bases, and all these different things, and they keep on just putting these stories out in order to give people fear, in order to keep them complacent, in order to be there. Most of them are like, oh, you know what, man, everything's just going to hell. I'm not even going to look at the news. I'm not going to look at anything. I'm just going to enjoy my weekend and watch football. Don't talk to me about any of that kind of stuff. I don't want to hear about that. I'm just going to watch. Baseball is going to start. It's going to be the playoffs. I'm going to start concentrating on that. Hey, man, it's NBA preseason, man. I really don't want to hear about what's going on. Don't talk to me about that. I don't want to know anything about what's going on over there in the Ukraine and Russia. I don't want to hear anything about you being the chosen people. I got church tomorrow. I'm going to church tomorrow. My pastor's going to give me a feel-good lesson so I can get through the rest of this week. And then they have those thoughts And those thoughts are going worldwide. They're going to the people on the low vibrational level, the ones that don't want to know. That's how they control them, because it's the same things over and over again. So and I'm noticing as we get more knowledge, understanding, and we're pushing this truth out, and it's starting to connect with many other people that we're not even, having physical contact with. We know this is going on with the spirit, that the other nations are like, okay, we got to, we know this truth is finally coming out. We can't stop it. So we need to ratchet up our plans in order to keep people in fear, in order to keep them from, not receiving this spirit of truth. So we're gonna have to keep on ratcheting up things. How many? It was like this morning or last night. I saw the story about the bridge being blown up, and what did you hear? Oh, Vladimir Putin said this is an act of war. Well, how many acts of war do you need before you respond? How many attacks do you have to absorb before you feel the need to respond? But see, they're going to have to respond, because as the Most High keeps giving us more knowledge, and this spirit keeps going out and collecting more and more people, opening up the eyes of more and more people. They need to go out of their way to attempt to keep a stranglehold on their people, on the ones that have, have made a covenant with the priesthood of Mahan, and keeps them asleep. My brother sent me a video. Well, he sent me an email, and it was crazy, because it was about an old Johnny Carson. I am shit Shotil. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I appreciate you. And it was old Johnny Carson show. I want to say here, if sent me a link to it, but it was actually a Johnny Carson show from season 25, episode 219. Aired about August 25th, 1987. And, around the 11-minute mark, he goes into his monologue, and he's talking about the Mayans. He's talking about aliens, talking about 2012, okay? And talking about, 144,000 people needing to hum together, in order to get the desired effects. And these people were going to be like in different places. So they were going to have physical contact, but they were going to be in these different places, but they all needed to hum together at the same time in order to have the desired effects. And I was like, that goes exactly with the whole 100 monkeys thing. As we get more knowledge and understanding, it might be a few of us, but those few are going to resonate with others that are in other parts of the world that don't even have the same physical contact. So I just found it pretty amazing, this confirmation. Most High has been kind of sharing that with me for the last couple of days. And that was just confirmation that he wanted me to share that with you, that we need to continue to grow. And, you might be the 100th one that sends this, truth, grow exponentially. That's why I'm sure many of us are awakened at different times of the evening. Many of us are being attacked physically, emotionally, spiritually right now. Many of us are probably going through some things right now. We got to understand that we are at the precipice. We are at the doorstep of huge changes that are going to be for eternity. So, to think about anything with this society continuing for much longer is pretty much fooling yourself. And they have to kind of continue with that, because that's all they have. That's why they're pushing all the fear. They're pushing the hope things can get better and go back to the way they were before. Or, I'm sitting there listening to certain people talking about, they're trying to bring in their new monetary system, and, and it's going to set up the society again. I'm like, you guys really think you guys are just, you've done screwed everything over, and the Most High is going to allow you to bring in a new monetary system so you can screw things up again? You never fixed the old system. So why would the Most High allow you to restart a new one? Because you did such a great job with the first system? He's already seen your track record. He's already seen what you would do when you were given control. So people are like, oh, the banking system, this, and you got to get your money out and go get gold and go get silver, and so we can, for what's to come, and all banks are getting ready to, to crash, and so make sure that you're ready for, the new system that's going to be coming in, and it's like, yeah, you guys keep thinking that, you keep doing that, but that's the whole thing with the fear, and it resonate with your guys as people on the lower levels, hoping that you will have that opportunity to continue, but you won't. And we need to continue to learn, follow the Most High, grow. And like I said, as we grow, every few of us, every one of us, I said, is waking up others. Might not be verbally, might not be, with the people that are around us, but as a collective, we are having that effect. And you can tell by the actions of the other nations. They have to ratchet it up every day because they see us growing exponentially. They see the truth coming out. They see the fact that they are being exposed. And that many of the things that they've done is exposed as well. The lies. Now, I'm going to check this. I want you to check this part out here, what we're going to talk about right now. This is pretty amazing right here. Again, the lost world of Agartha. Okay, the mystery of real power. I'm going to start at the bottom, okay? I already read the top part in the last a couple videos ago. It says, in all Asia Minor, not only in the past, but also today, there exists a belief in the existence of a city of mystery, full of marvels, which is known as Shambhala. Okay? Where is the temple of the gods? It is also the Erdemi of the Tibetans and Mongols. The Persians call it Aldirdi or Ariana, land of their ancestors. But check this part out. The Hebrews called it Canaan. The Hebrews called it Canaan. So we knew the land of Canaan was actually our promised lands, right? And so were these promised lands actually talking about subterranean lands that were promised to us? Now we know that there's no like archaeological proof that the area where they're at today, was actually the same ones that we read about in Exodus and Joshua. We know that there's no, they can't prove that Jericho and those events happened over there. I did a video on that a few years ago as well. Dude, it does talk about when they sent in the spies. Remember how they found the land was full of giants, right? All the huge fruits and vegetables, and how they thought they couldn't take the land over, but it was like a great land, right? Well, this is letting you know that the Hebrews called Shambhala Canaan. And it would make sense because we know that they talk about there being giants in the subterranean world. And it's where they kind of went to go and hide during the flood. So it kind of would make sense, right? So I thought that was pretty amazing. Because they're not all going to call it Shambhala. They're going to call it different things, just like the Gentiles did. When they got their opportunity to take over the lands, what did they do? They renamed all the lands. They changed all the names. They hid what's what and who's who and who owns what. So it would make sense that, this great land of Shambhala, the Hebrews would call it something else. So check this part out before we continue. Check out Joshua chapter 2. We'll start at 9. And she said unto them, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side, Jordan, Sihon, and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. As soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man, because of you. For the Lord your God, He is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Earth beneath. Subterranean levels. He's the heaven above, and he's the God of above and a God below. It's the things that like are written in there that we just kind of like, gloss over. But is that that he's the most high, he's the most high power above land over here, the heavens, everything, and what's below the earth, subterranean levels. And like I said, as we get this understanding, you start looking at the scriptures and you start to see that a lot of these things are actually substantiated just with the wording. You can see certain things as you start having your mind opened. Just a few of us, that's going to spill over to the consciousness of our brethren, of our brothers and sisters, as well as to any Gentiles the Most High wants to awaken. And they're going to be moved to start to study this information. I thought that was absolutely amazing. He is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. So is that possible? Why wouldn't it be that there's these, wonderful lands and they were given to us, and that this land of Canaan wasn't necessarily on top, on the surface, but it was actually under the ground? Like I said, so the fact that they've hidden so much stuff, it just they don't have a leg to stand on. They can't tell us yes, yay, nay, nothing. That's true. That's not true. They've lied about everything. So they don't get a seat at the table to try to tell us anything. Okay? So let's continue. The Hebrews called it Canaan, and the Mexicans Tula or Tulan, while the Aztecs called it Mayapan. The Spanish conquistadors who came to America believed in the existence of such a city and organized many expeditions to find it, calling it El Dorado or City of Gold. They probably learned about it from the Aborigines, who called it by the name of Manca, or city whose king wears clothing of gold. By the Celts, this holy land was known as Land of the Mysteries, Dust or Dananda. A Chinese tradition speaks of the land of Chivin, or the city of a dozen serpents. It is a subterranean world, which lies at the roots of heaven. It is the land of Chalcas, Chalcis, or Kalki, the famous Colchida, for which the Argonauts sought when they set out in search of the Golden Fleece. In the Middle Ages, it was referred to as the Isle of Avalon, where the Knights of the Round Table, under the leadership of King Arthur and under the guidance of the magician Merlin, went in search of the Holy Grail. See, these people have been looking for these subterranean worlds this whole time. It's just they've hidden that fact that these lands were under the ground. They just call them different things. But all these different societies, all these different people have had names for these lands underneath the surface. It's just been a secret that's been hidden from us. So Merlin went in search of the Holy Grail, symbol of obedience, justice, and immortality. When King Arthur was seriously wounded in a battle, he requested his companion, Bedivere, to depart on a boat to the confines of the earth, with the following words: "Farewell, my friend and companion Bedivere. I go to the land where it never rains, where there is no sickness, and where nobody dies. This is the land of immortality, or Agarti, the subterranean world. This land is the Valhalla of the Germans, the Monte Salvat of the Knights of the Holy Grail, the Utopia of Thomas More, the city of the sun of Campanella, the Shangri-La of Tibet, and Agarti of the Buddhist world." Not all the evidence concerning Agarti is so generalized, however. Okay? And as we progress down over the years, we can find a number of specific reports which further underline the widespread belief in the underground kingdom. One of the earliest and most curious of these traditions is to be found in the East, where a report claims that the first man, Adam, actually came from a subterranean world. Okay? According to an ancient sage named Saint Ephraim, his home was in the middle of the earth, and his dying words were that his Redeemer and that of his posterity would come from this place. The tradition goes on to say that Adam's body was embalmed and then kept safely until a priest called Melchizedek, a wise man from the subterranean world, eventually arrived some years later through a tunnel to take it back for proper burial. This story is further substantiated in the Quran, which describes Adam as having been a handsome man as tall as a palm tree. While Hindu lore says that he was the king of a group of elders, okay, who had first gone underground at the time of a great cataclysm, and then returned to supervise the reestablishment of life on the surface world. There are several references to an underground kingdom in the classical texts, including that of Hanno, the Carthaginian, okay, navigator who undertook a voyage along the west coast of Africa about 500 BC. In his work, Periplus, he tells of hearing stories of underground dwellers who were superior in intelligence. Now, this is really important, okay? Again, in a work, Periplus, he tells of hearing stories of underground dwellers who were superior in intelligence to other men and ran swifter than horses when any attempts were made to follow them into their tunnels. As we shall see later, there is a strong tradition that a tunnel to Agartha runs from Africa. Now, it's important because many of the people in the past talked about the people that are in these underground tunnels and subterranean areas and how intelligent they are and how smart they are. But you're going to see how this changes. This whole thought process changes when the Edomites get in charge. Okay. Plato, the great historian of lost Atlantis, also speaks of mysterious passageways in and around the mighty continent, tunnels both broad and narrow in the interior of the earth. He further mentions a great ruler who sits in the center on the navel of the earth, and he is the interpreter of religion to all mankind. The legend of Atlantis is, in fact, inextricably entwined with that of Agartha, as we shall find when we discuss the early history of South America and the tunnel bridge between the American continent and Africa. Now, here we go. The Roman Gaius Plinius Secundus, or Pliny, makes reference to subterranean dwellers who had originally fled underground after the destruction of Atlantis in his Natural History. However, unlike his predecessors, he credits them with very little intelligence. Now, that's huge because this is exactly what these Edomites have done this whole time. No matter where they've gone, they always talk about how the original people there were not intelligent, were not smart. In order to, raise themselves up, they had to, diminish our people, diminish their qualities, diminish their attributes. See, people before was the total opposite. Talked about how intelligent they were. But you get these Gentiles here who get in charge, and it's, oh, these guys are stupid. They're dumb. Just like when they got over here, all these natives over here, they were running around here naked. They didn't know how to, work a wheel. They didn't know how to do this. They couldn't read. They couldn't write. They didn't have any books. But we burned all their books, but they didn't have any books. Just the stuff that they're saying. This just proves that it's been, a concerted effort to hide any of our accomplishments the whole time. That's why now, as the Most High has given us everything back, we can't be wasting our time trying to. That's why you waste your time even trying to talk to them. Oh, let's have a debate. Why don't you come on my channel and come and prove to me what you believe? Yeah. Hold your breath, bruh. I said, yeah, I'm not wasting my time doing any of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I said, because you guys, all you've done is gone out of your way to try to diminish everything about us. This is why the Holy Spirit was sent back to bring back all things to our remembrance. And all you've done is gone out of your way to keep everything about us out of our remembrance. That's why we're not allowed to read or do much of anything. Okay, so check it out. However, unlike his predecessors, he credits them with very little intelligence, as since the cataclysm, they have fallen below the level of human civilization. Okay, if we can believe what is said, Gaius Plinius does believe, though, that these troglodytes have hidden in their tunnels a great ancient treasure. Yeah, he wants to talk about the money, he wants to talk about the treasures, right? I says, but he doesn't want to give them any credit as to their intelligence whatsoever. So it's beautiful times that we are in right now. Beautiful times right now that we are in, because the Most High is really working overtime to replenish this knowledge, understanding that's been stolen from us. I'm going to read John 15 and 26. But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceedeth from the Father, she shall testify of me. And that's what she's doing right now, testifying, bringing back this information and this understanding once again. They've gone out of their way to hide absolutely everything about us. And the Holy Spirit is now giving us back this knowledge, understanding once again. And they're caught red-handed right here. They're always referring to Pliny and all these other people, but as you can see, they totally went against, what the ancients knew. The ancients knew that these people were intelligent and smart. But Pliny's like, nah, these people were idiots. And the vast majority of people going forward are just going to respond, or we're just going to give credit to what Pliny says, and whatever he says goes. I'm going to show you a little something here right now. The secret of the Illuminati. This is showing you where we're at right now. They've taken a lot of our books, hidden them all over the place. Okay, that's what like a lot of the illuminated ones were doing, and they're hiding this information until we were ready to receive it. Read the last paragraph. It goes, this was a time when the Andes were formed and the Valley of the Blue Moon, a valley which had been created by the upheavals. Lord Aramu Maru, the keeper of the scrolls and a master in Lumeria, had directed the building of the monastery. Hidden amongst the high mountain peaks of the Andes, it would remain a secret mystery school in which were stored not only the sun disk, but other treasures of the lost continent. The records and scrolls of past ages, which contain the history of the planet, the scientific and spiritual wisdom knowledge of all time, here safe from a world whose inhabitants had forgotten the law of love, and whose thoughts were directed solely by greed and gain. Is that not what you're seeing right now? Let's just continue. We'll come back to this in a minute. The records would remain until the day would dawn when mankind would again understand his true destiny. And that's what you're seeing going on right now. Men, women are being raised up right now to understand their true destiny once again. All this information has been hidden. This is why you're seeing them as we get, this information and we're spreading it, and it gets to the hundredth of us, the 100th of a person of us gets this understanding. Then all of a sudden, it just starts to spread like wildfire. People get, they get moved to start to study. They get moved to start to study things that they've never really been interested in before, or things they've never heard of before, because the spirit is moving. But the other nations, the people right here at the bottom here, safe from a world whose inhabitants had forgotten the law of love and whose thoughts were directed solely by greed and gain. That's what you're seeing right now. These people that are all about fear, everything about them is about greed and gain. Greed and gain. They're trying to, make money. They're trying to, even at this late date, they're trying to make money off of natural gas, trying to make money off of, fuel, trying to make money off of food, trying to make money off of land. Everything's about food and gain and everything else, Oh, hold on fast. It's open. It's open. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. But as you can see, again, This is why they were never able to get any of this information. They were never to get it, and all this information has been hidden from them. All this understanding has been hidden from them. Why is that? Because these are the inhabitants that had forgotten the law of love, and whose thoughts were directed solely by greed and gain. This is why your breakdowns of prophecy don't work, because you're all about greed and gain. You will not admit the truth. You will not admit your true history. You will not admit the things that you've done. You will not admit the things that your ancestors have done. You will not admit the fact that everything about you is about greed and gain. Please show me any examples of something that you didn't try to benefit from. If you try to do something nice, it's because you thought you're going to benefit at the end. You've destroyed the world. You've destroyed the people because you've all been about greed and gain. And see, this video is going to go out. It's going to be seen by many. And then all of a sudden, the Spirit is going to take these thoughts and he's going to, have them grow exponentially worldwide with people we don't even connect with, because those are the times that we are in. And other people are going to start to get these thoughts. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do another attack, or you're going to have to do another event even bigger than before in order to try to, keep hold of the ones that you've been in control this whole time. That's why you're seeing everything escalate. That's why you're seeing all of these things going on right now around our feast days. Because, like I said, everything revolves around us. If the Most High gives us more knowledge and understanding, then it weakens the other nations. It weakens their control. It weakens their grip. And now that we're at the end and we've served our punishment, their grip is just getting looser and looser every day. So be on the lookout for another huge event. I said, because this video is going to go out. You're going to give more information, more understanding, more connections. You're going to talk about, hey, I'd never heard about Shambhala possibly being called Canaan, and making those connections. How our records have been, hidden and held for us, because they were hidden because of the people who came into power, people who had forgotten the law of love, and whose thoughts were directed solely by greed and gain. That's why you guys were never able to find these cities, because of what's in your spirit. But now, as we, gain our understanding of our true destiny once again, these books and this understanding are going to be opened up to us once again. This understanding is going to be opened up to us once again. He's just calling in the last few. He's just calling in the last ones. And it's beautiful to see how this is all working out. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.